evening, everyone. Tonight's show is dedicated to the memory and honor of former two-time Silver Dollar Speedway track champion Stephen Allard, who passed away over the holiday break.
We'll be paying tribute and discussing the career of Stephen this evening and reliving a few of his wins that he garnered in the 2005 and 2006 with the Golden State Series.
Now, George, this past weekend, Stephen's memorial service was held up at the Silver Dollar Fairgrounds. Unfortunately, I was back in Tulsa, so I couldn't attend, but it seemed like it was a very well-attended service, and from what I gather, just a very emotional and great service altogether.
I was very honored to be there. It was huge. It was a jam-packed building. There wasn't a seat. There was people standing, and the tributes were great from the family, the friends. The love in that room was beyond belief. The family mentioned that a few times. They had the 14 car, the Russell car there, all brand new, freshly painted, and a lot of pictures, a lot of memorabilia, and you know, it was a great tribute to a great champion.
Yeah, I was glad to hear that. And to talk about some of Stephen's career highlights, of course, right at the top of the list, you have to look at two Silver Dollar Speedway titles. Back in 1997, he actually tied Shane Scott, so they were co-track champions. And remarkably, 10 years after that, in 2007, Stephen won the title outright, driving for Skip Jones. So those are two of his major accomplishments in his career.
Well, 2005, the Dave Bradway Junior Sportsman of the Year Award. That's a big honor for any driver to get. And what a more deserving guy. I mean, he was the true sportsman.
Yeah.
He mentioned many times during the ceremony last weekend about how he would help the new guy. He'd be the first guy to talk to somebody if they had a problem. You know, he really deserved that Sportsman of the Year award that he received in 2005.
Yeah, you know, that award also has the word inspiration in it. And that season was actually remarkable for Stephen, as he was leading the Golden State points for quite some time that year. They had some motor problems, but they all persevered, stayed to the end, and I remember when we were discussing who that we should give that award to. I think it was myself, you, and Troy, and
right.
You know, there's no more deserving person than Stephen that season.
And then in 2006, picking up the big win at the Thunderbolt, the Chris and Brian Faria Memorial.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at that tonight. Of course, that was driving for the McMillan family.
Right. 2008. Cotton Classic champion, and that's a big win over at King Speedway.
Big win for Stephen. That was his first night driving. If you remember the number 4D car, it was called Double D Motorsports, the Lee family. He had a lot of great success in that over a season and a half, and his first night in the car won the Cotton Classic, so that was pretty impressive.
In 2010, won his first Calistoga Speedway main event driving for the Smitty Boys Racing, and Steve Smith, a friend of mine,
I know you're
part of that.
Steve,
and that was big, not only for Stephen, but for that whole team. It was huge. To win at Calistoga is always huge, but that team, they're longtime racers in Calistoga. The history of Calistoga really meant a lot to that team.
Right. Of course, our buddy Heavy D, Darren Smith, was on that team, and I know they were pumped after that win. They had a great season in 2010. They won the Mel Hall Memorial over at Marysville and had a few other wins, so it was another strong year. But last season, George, just phenomenal for Stephen. 6 overall wins, driving for Scott Russell in the 14R car. Came so close to winning the Placerville Speedway title.
Well, and Andy Forsberg during the tribute mentioned the battle between the two and how the rivalry was really to the fans, not so much between Stephen and Andy, because they're best friends, you know. And so, yeah, that was a tremendous year. Scott Russell, I think that's the best that car has done in a long time. Stephen really wheeled the heck out of that car.
Had a great season. We've talked about some of the stats now for Stephen. Let's take a look at some past highlights, courtesy Grove Hill. From 2005, driving the Kumar family, Reddy Green, number 1K. Of course, that was the year that he won the Dave Bradway Jr. Memorial Inspiration Award. And then we'll also take a look at the 2006 Chris and Brian Faria Memorial, another win for Stephen Allard.
Someone's going to be a hero tonight at Chico off turn 4. And we're racing. It is Stephen Allard in the lead, followed by Robertson. Jason Statler using his muscle, and he's trying to track down the 83 junior Blake Robertson. Statler, almost a wheel, and he goes off the track. If he saves it, he's only lost 2 spots. Statler trying to make things happen, and he does. The big guy up to second. Robertson sees him, he fights him back, and this is awesome racing tonight here at the Dollar. Statler with the momentum out of turn 2 once again. And he'll now work on Stephen Allard for the lead. He's going to have a run off turn 2. Statler like a slingshot down the back straightaway. Oh, that's 23 laps down, 2 to go. Allard and Statler. Here comes Statler. Statler to the outside. Allard on the bottom. White flag waving. Statler takes the lead on the final lap. Allard through the middle of the track. He can't get him up. Statler takes the lead. Now Allard to the top of the track. He's going to go to the outside of Statler. There's contact, and Steven Allard gets the victory.
What a great front row. This will be a cat and mouse game. Kent picks it up. Brent picks it up. Green flag, great start off the four. Brent kind of falls back off the full third. Little traffic jam here on the front straightaway with 3 wide going into turn number 1. And it's Steve Kent who takes the lead down the back straightaway. Katie is second. The battle for third. Stephen Allard going to work on Tarleton for that third spot. Steve Kent loves these conditions. You ask him, he loves these dry, slick racetracks. Stephen Allard going to work on Tarleton off of 2. They're side by side for the third spot. Stephen Allard in that white number 1 takes over the third spot. Tarleton tries to come back on the outside of 4. He likes this move off of 4, retakes that third spot. Here comes Faria working on Allard. Faria tries the outside of 1. He makes the move. Allard battles back down the inside. Tommy Tarleton working the top of the racetrack on 4. Reels in Brent Katie, then at number 69. Stephen Allard now on the inside of Tarleton off of 2, working the bottom of the racetrack. And once again, Allard moves to that third spot, and Tarleton goes right to the top of the racetrack. This time, Allard moves up and blocks the move. And Blake Robinson now working on Tommy Tarleton, goes to the inside. These two battle side by side. Give the spot to Blake Robinson, moves to 4th. Blake Robertson reeling in. Allard, who has passed Katie. Allard moves to 2nd. Katie drops to 3rd, and here comes Blake Robertson. He's off the racetrack. Here comes Statler. The 2 leaders crash in turn 3 and 4. Brent Katie, broken front end. Kent keeps it running. Flat right front on Steve Kent's car. And Brent Katie is through for the night, and Steve Kent is going to have to change the right front and go to the back. That's going to put Stephen Allard out front in the number 1. I'm sure there might have been a little gesture there as down black flag for Steve Kendall, had to head for the pits. Jonathan Allard to 4th. Ladies and gentlemen, the 5th different winner this year. Stephen Allard picks up the win. Tommy Tarleton is 2nd. Jason Statler comes from 17th to 3rd.
I just can't say enough. I'm so ecstatic. This is my first Golden State win ever. It's just phenomenal. I got an excellent team.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Christopher Mia Memorial comes into turn number 3. Stephen Allard sets the pace. Craig Stidham on the outside as they come around looking for green. Brent Katie way upstairs, making it 3 wide. Somehow they make it down the front straightaway. Steve Kent with a wild move in turn 1, number 1. Steve Kent takes the lead from his inside, 2nd row. Allard battles back, slides up in front of Kent. Kent tries to back, it is no. Jonathan Allard, they make contact. His brother, Stephen Allard, making contact with Jonathan Allard. Allard keeps it running. Now comes to a stop, a yellow flag. Katie working on a small lead here at the front straightaway. Now down to 2. Brent Katie takes the 2nd spot. Stephen Allard. It's by Maywell, but here comes BK with a head of steam down the front straightaway. 25 laps down. 5 to go. Katie once again on the inside of Allard. Allard stays up on, bangs it off the wall. Katie bangs it off. Katie's broken. BK, gets the throttle back on. Tommy Tarleton has moved to 3rd in the 21 car. Kent is back to 4th. 5th, Jason Statler going to work on Baloo for 5th. They got a car upside down here on the front straightaway. It's after 11 o'clock, and the city has requested that we get done by 11. So again, Stephen Allard, congratulations. Great drive.
You didn't see Brent behind you. He hit the wall. He told me his motor died. He picked it up, and he almost caught you again.
That guy's amazing. He can do some pretty spectacular things with the car out there.
Welcome back to our very first show for the 2013 season. And I want to thank Grove Hill for those great highlights, highlighting Stephen Allard and some of his great accomplishments through his career. Hey, Gary, some of the thoughts you had about Stephen. I know you were close to him, went to a lot of the races up there at Chico and Placerville. What's your fondest memories of Stephen?
You know, that's a hard question because there's so many, but Stephen was always somebody that would make you feel welcome, like he was your best friend. I know when I was younger, first getting into the PR business, I was a pretty shy kid. I didn't talk a lot, and Stephen was one of the first to really make me feel comfortable in the pit area. You know, he's a guy that would always come up and shake my hand, as he did a lot of other people. But that was the one thing, and just the positivity that Stephen always had. I mean, it didn't matter if it was a bad night at the track. You could go down and talk to him, and he'd keep a positive attitude, and that was something that always stuck out in my mind with Stephen.
And mine, same thing. It was a positive attitude, always shaking your hand. Take the time to say hello to all of us, not fans, for media people that we race with. He was always first one there to say hi and how you doing. But one of my memories, and it follows that same line as a positive nature, is the big crash he had at Tulare, where he
had the wing.
Had the wing struck come and hit him in the head, and we kind of took him to the hospital. We all worried about him. He comes back and said, "Hey, I'm ready to go racing."
Yeah, then he raced the next night.
Is the car ready? He's more worried about getting in that car, making his team happy, but with a positive attitude and just a guy that'll be missed by all of us. It's a terrible loss.
Yeah, very tough loss. Of course, our thoughts and prayers are with the whole Allard family. Jonathan, we know, came back from New Zealand to attend the memorial service, and we want to wish him the best of luck the rest of the off-season, too.
Hey, we're going to break for a commercial. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the Chili Bowl.
Hey, everyone. The 23rd annual Dave Bradway Jr. Memorial Race is coming up at Silver Dollar Speedway on Saturday, May 4th. And if you're interested in sponsoring a lap, they are $100 per lap, with the leader getting $50, second place getting $30, and third place getting $20. Now, every bit of your money goes back to the racers, so if you're interested in purchasing a lap, please contact Dave and Diane DeRica at 916-988-5958 or email them at derica1414@svcglobal.net. Once again, the 23rd annual Dave Bradway Jr. Memorial, Saturday night, May 4th at Silver Dollar Speedway, King of the West Series, one time only at Chico. Welcome back, everyone. This week we are fresh off the annual Chili Bowl Midget Nationals back in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Gary, wait a minute.
You
said we?
We.
Wait a minute. I don't think I was there.
You were on work still, so you didn't quite go.
Yeah, what is this? You were off playing in Tulsa. We were here working.
It was a nice vacation. It was even warmer back there than it was in California, so we had some nice weather.
That was the rare thing until Saturday.
Until Saturday. Then our doors froze. We couldn't get in our car. But other than that, it was all good.
So you were at the Swindell Bowl. Huh?
The Swindell Bowl, that's right. Exactly. Once again, the Swindells dominate. Of course, Kevin, his fourth win in a row. Sammy, second place again. And whatever it is, those guys just got that place figured out. It seems like you go to any coffee shop or restaurant in Tulsa during the week, all you hear about is the Swindells, and what are they doing different than everybody else? Nobody can pinpoint it.
I was going to ask you, what are people saying? Because there's 250 cars. It's a short track, not a big track, so horsepower is not the big issue, and they seem to figure it out every year. They're always up in the top two rows every year.
You hear everything from the shocks. They hear everything from soaking their tires and how light they are, but I think it's just the combination of talent and good setup guy for Sammy Swindell.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, our former champ, Kyle Larson, had a great run, won the preliminary night.
Yeah, another golden driller for him. Yeah.
But then had some problems in the main event after I heard the first 10 laps were exciting.
Best races you'll see, for the first 10 laps were probably the best racing you've seen in your life. I talked to somebody in the pit area and they said best race they've ever seen. Sliding each other for the lead, lap after lap until Kyle just got in a little bit hot and spun around and into the tough Chili Bowl for him. But the standing ovation that Kyle got for battling the Swindells like he did was pretty priceless.
I heard, it's February. We can see it on Speed Channel, I believe, is coming up early February, so we can see that. Brad Sweet had a good run.
Another good run for Brad, a career best finish at the Chili Bowl on the podium, driving for Willie Kane. A lot of people thought he was driving for Casey Kane, but Casey got rid of his midget stuff, and Willie, his cousin, attained one of his midgets and put Brad in the car for, of course, a turkey night where they had a good finish, and then also the Chili Bowl and had a great finish, third place, and they really pieced that team together. Actually got the opportunity to sit with him on the flight with my buddy Steve Gomez going to Tulsa, and he put a lot of effort in that midget, so that was definitely a great accomplishment for them to get on the podium.
Well, I think you told me that he has moved to Concord, California. With
living in California.
doing the shock thing there. Now got a midget team.
Right.
So he's kind of settled down here out west.
Hey, he talked about trying to run his midget about a handful of times at some of the big shows throughout the country. So I definitely would love them to get that opportunity because they put a great midget on the track.
Speaking about putting a midget on the track, Shane Gullivan.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was hard charger, but he came from what, 16th to 7th?
16th to 7th, a tremendous run, and he was one of the fastest cars on the track before it took rubber right after the time Larson had spun out. But yeah, Shane got up to as high as the top 5 and looked really strong driving for Wilkie Pack. And his father John also made a return to racing, first time I think in about 15 years, and he was gassing that thing up in his main event on Saturday, so that was great to see. I hope to see John more in the midget next year, but he says that's about it for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's just an amazing event. I got to go a couple of years ago, we were there, and it's one of the things you have to put on your bucket list.
Yeah.
The Chili Bowl, everybody says that. You need to go check it out. It is truly an amazing event.
Yeah, I mean, from the racing to the town, it's just the whole town. It's almost like a mini Knoxville where the whole town gets into it, and there's nothing like the Chili Bowl. You go to the bars, you go to the restaurants, everything is Chili Bowl. I mean, around the entire town. So pretty awesome. But great Chili Bowl, George. You got to go next year. If you've never been to the Chili Bowl, check it out.
Hey Gary, while you were gone to Tulsa, we finally came out with our 2013 schedule, and I got to thank you. You're at Tulsa on vacation. You put the schedule up, and that's great because usually in the past, years gone by, that schedule wouldn't come out
until after Chili Bowl.
End of January after Chili Bowl. We try to get it out as early as we can every year, and I want to thank you for doing that so everybody got to look at it before Chili Bowl.
Before Chili Bowl, yeah, for sure. I mean, the schedule, we're really excited about it. There's a lot of thrilling aspects. It's expanded, but the schedule really has a fresh and new feel to it. I mean, there's a lot of familiar events returning, but there's also some new flavors and new blood back in it.
Yeah, I think it's different. It's 28 races strong. We haven't had 28 races on the schedule for I don't know how many years, since way back in the Northern Auto Racing Club when it was like 40. And we're going to Nevada a lot, but I think it's a new market.
Right.
I think we got to try new things,
right.
And I got to give credit to Dan Simpson. We are trying new things.
Yeah, if you don't try things, you're going to become stale, and you got to kind of think outside the box. Change is sometimes a scary thing for some people, but the best things happen from change. So that's something we're looking forward to.
One of the things in the Promoters Workshop that a couple people had mentioned is, every so often you have to reinvent yourself, like a Madonna. How many times has Madonna reinvented herself? Well, we have to do that in the entertainment business, and racing is entertainment. And like you said, I'm excited. We're going to places we haven't been.
Right.
Like Petaluma. I love Petaluma. I grew up in Petaluma. So I've been, 3-4 years since we've been
2010,
there?
last time we've been there.
We're there, May?
Yeah, May 11th.
I have to look back at the schedule here. It is May 11th. We're at Petaluma Speedway back there. Rick Faith is putting together a tribute to Bayland.
Going to be a lot of fun there, but we have a lot of traditional events occurring this season. Of course, the top of the list always is the Dave Bradway Jr. Memorial.
Right.
23rd edition this season. A lot of money's up for grabs. Traditionally, that is the highest paying race all season long, and definitely is going to be in California.
Yeah, that, and we've got a new Memorial Day weekend event.
Yeah, the Chris and Brian Free Memorial is going to move from a traditional early May event to the Memorial Day weekend, 2 nights, Saturday, Sunday, May 25th and 26th. Tulare is really, you ask a lot of fans what their favorite track is, Tulare pops up more often than not. And a 2-day show there. We had a very successful outing last season, and we're hoping to make this kind of a staple of the series, a new Memorial Day tradition at the Thunderbolt.
Talking to Steve Faria, Dennis Roth, and Dan Simpson, they want to make this an event, not just 2 nights of racing. They want stuff going on during the day. I know we're planning a breakfast on Sunday. They're planning something on Saturday night. I think this is going to be fun. The camping is great there. Huge campgrounds for the people who like to stay the weekend. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun Memorial Day weekend at Tulare.
Yeah, definitely a new tradition to be happy about is Tulare Thunderbolt Memorial Day weekend. We hope everyone comes. Another great race back on the docket will be the 3rd annual Howard Kading Classic. That event has really become a large part of the schedule at Ocean Speedway each year, and something exciting about it is the Friday night before us, they run a non-wing USAC midget race, so you really get the best of both worlds that weekend. I mean, it's something you can't miss.
And that's tremendous. When we go to Tulare, they get the non-wing sprints and the wing sprints. Then they go to the Howard Kading Classic and get the non-wing sprints and midgets. And then the next night they got the wing sprint cars. So another exciting 2-day show, basically, that the fans can look forward to there at Ocean Speedway.
Yeah, and then you talk about the non-wing, the wing combination. The Cotton Classic at King Speedway, October 12th, is another one that is co-sanctioned between the King of the West Series and the USAC West Coast Series. And if you're a sprint car fan, there's certain events you got to go to each season, and a few of these that we just mentioned, mark them on your calendar. You can't miss them. They're going to be great.
We want to talk about the new tracks. And of course, everybody's talking about Nevada. That's all I hear about is Nevada. Well, that is a new facility or a redo of an old facility. No secret there. Dan Simpson has procured the rights to the Reno Tahoe Fernley Speedway and is making a lot of improvements there. And they're all going to be 2-day shows. They're all special events tied in with something that's happening around town, whether it be 4th of July weekend with the Cherry Bomb Classic or Hot August Nights or what have you. It's going to be exciting. We've got some great promotional items for the fans and hotels, food, and ticket packages. So I'm kind of looking forward. I really am looking forward to going to Fernley to see how that works out for us.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, when Dan Simpson takes control of something, it's going to be first class. And a lot of the plans are going to be announced in the coming weeks. We're going to have Dan on the show here, I believe, in 2 weeks, detailing a lot of the fun things on tap. And, you've never seen Reno Tahoe Fernley Speedway like you're going to see it this year.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've been there. Been a few years, since 2005.
2006, yeah.
2006.
Right around there,
So likewise, Fallon.
Yeah.
You probably weren't born the last time
think
they were
so.
at Fallon, but the Northern Auto Racing Club did go to Fallon a few years ago. That's back on the schedule. They're doing a lot of renovations there. The city owns the racetrack. They're putting a lot of money in there to get the sprint cars back at the Rattlesnake Raceway in Fallon. And then a couple and a new track. Nice to see a new track pop up.
It really is. You don't see many of those. Of course, the Stockton 99 dirt track right there at the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds, built inside the horse track, so something unique. Of course, the World of Outlaws are going to kind of be the first kickoff show there, and then we're going to come back August 3rd with our show, and we're really excited about it. Tony Nicetti, Carol, they put in a lot of work over there, and we definitely hope it all pays off.
And of course, we mentioned Petaluma Speedway, the tribute to Baylands, and then back to Santa Maria. They've got new management down in Santa Maria. Ruben and his family have taken over the Speedway. We're going back there for a one-day show. Love to get out of the heat of the valley and go over to Santa Maria to the ocean.
Love Santa Maria Speedway. If you've never been there, you definitely got to check that out. The last time we were there was 2011. Had a couple of great shows, and that really is another unique track. He said it's right in the dead heat of the summer. Get to the coast, cool off, go to Pismo, and make a weekend out of it.
And of course, the only 410 race of the season at Merced will be a King of the West race.
Yep.
Outlaws couldn't put together a date, so we're it this year.
Right. Only 410 show in town this year at Merced. Of course, the greatest grandstands in California. I mean, those things are awesome. Great facility, and the racing there has been exciting. It's definitely the definition of bull ring racing.
And that's going to be June 1st on the schedule. And of course, we talked about the RTF, the Reno Tahoe Fernley Speedway, and the action throughout there, and Rattlesnake Raceway in Nevada. It's 28 races, 14 in Nevada, 14 in California.
And of course, you talked about the big money on the line. All the Northern Nevada races, 14 nights of racing. Each main event is going to be $3,500 to win, $1,000 to start. I mean, they don't pay $1,000 to start, I don't think, anywhere in the country.
$1,000 to start the main event?
Racing, the main event.
I don't think anybody else pays.
No, I don't think anybody else pays that.
Maybe Knoxville at the National.
Right.
They pay a lot of money there. But that's a great payoff, and there are some things we're going to talk about in 2 weeks when Dan Simpson is here on what they're going to offer the race fans and the teams at the Reno Tahoe Fernley Raceway when it comes to ticket packages, pit pack packages, and hotel reservations, all that kind of stuff. All getting put together here. We should know in a couple of weeks.
And there's so many marketing opportunities in Northern Nevada. I mean, that's a big reason for the push to get in there. Nevada is really driven by tourism, and the amount of marketing opportunities up there they're amazing, and there's going to be a lot of great documentation in the weeks to come.
Yeah, I've been up there, and the hotels are very interested in helping us with a lot of the packages, so we'll look forward to that. And again, I think it's going to be a new era in sprint car racing here in Northern California, Northern Nevada. Really looking forward to see how everything works out.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Definitely stay tuned to all the great announcements in the weeks to come. Hello everyone, since we've been away, there's been some news about sprint car racing, and of course, George, a few weeks ago we had that opportunity to meet with Chad Compton, his father Michael, about some promotional opportunities, and Chad's actually spending time back at Ricky Stenhouse Sr.'s engine shop, Dynatech in Missouri right now.
Yeah, Ricky called him and said, hey, come back and I need some help, and that's where he gets his motor done, so he's going to get to go work on his own motor. And, great opportunity for him to get back there and get to talk to some people about sprint car racing and learn a little bit about motor technology. And I'm sure there'll be some great stories when Chad comes back from Ricky Stenhouse Senior's shop.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with Chad on the show during our most recent King of the West Tonight episode just before Christmas. And another guy that's really excited about next year. If you're a sponsor looking for with a great team, he and his dad and his girlfriend, just great people all around.
Absolutely. We had a great time at Michael's house, and I'm looking forward for them coming back. They've got some big plans. They're looking for that second motor so they can make all the races. Yep. And there's a team that if somebody wants to get behind, you've got some good classy people there. Another big congratulations to another Northern California driver, Peter Murphy.
Peter Murphy, of course, King of the West Series driver, finished 4th in points last year. Recently wrapped up the New Zealand Championship, and I believe he's had a trio of wins over there, so he's been doing great, driving the same exact car that he drives here in California, the Dalton's number 11.
And he's going to be driving that next year. When I talked to him at the shop last week, he's looking forward to actually going over to Reno. He hasn't been there.
Yeah.
He's looking forward to going over there. Talking about people over down under, Jonathan Allard.
It happened 5 or 6 wins over there in New Zealand already. He and Peter seem to win every other race. If it's not one of them, it's Donnie Schatz winning. But Jonathan keeping himself sharp over there. Of course, we mentioned that he came home for Stevens Memorial Service this past weekend. I don't know what his plans are the rest of the offseason, but I know he was planning to race there until at least February, March.
Right. And then Kyle Larson went over in a midget, and I think he won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Then came back and won the first night at Chili Bowl. He had 5 in a row going there.
Yeah,
so.
the impressive thing about the International Midget Series was they had 4 races. He won all 4 of them, and it was capped off with a 50-lap main event. But there were a lot of big names that have tried to do that. A.J. Foyt, Stan Fox, a lot of guys have tried to sweep all 4 of those International Series events, have never done it. So Kyle Larson, another history moment.
He came back and won Turkey Night too.
Yeah, that's right. He won Turkey Night earlier too. So yeah, he's won pretty much everything in a midget you can do. And next year, keep your eye on him for Chili Bowl.
Hey, our next King of the West coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to have the managing director, I'll get his title correctly, managing director for King of the West Sprint Cars and now the Reno Tahoe Friendly Speedway. Dan Simpson will be with us.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to have Dan on the show. And remember to stay connected to the King of the West Sprint Car Series by logging onto our website, kwssprints.com, or following us on Twitter at KWS Sprint Racing.
Also, you can visit us on Facebook at King of the West Sprints or YouTube. Well, this list is getting longer. YouTube at King of the West Sprint Car Series, or email us at kwsseries@yahoo.com.
You can also follow us on Instagram. We're going to have a lot of great photos in the season to come, or contact us here at the King of the West Series office, area code 707-374-2222. We're always available pretty much 24/7.
No, hey, give us a call at the office, and again, look forward to talking to you in a couple of weeks.
Yep. Good night, everyone. We hope everyone stays safe, and hope you all had a great holiday season. Ready for 2013.